Sometimes it's not one thing. It's the way people are moving. Someone smoking, maybe smoking drugs. Their body leaning to one side. You can't always say what it is, just that something feels off, like something might happen. It's in the gestures. So that morning I came in the long way, past the road. Traffic already stacked up. There was a couple of men. They were drinking on the benches. This is down by the gate. Anyway, one burst out laughing for some reason about I don't know what. Harmless. They weren't bothering anyone. They never really do. Going further in, the park, opens out. At that point, it was still early. There was a woman with her spaniels racing around. I remember then how the light, how it caught the grass at an angle, just so. And it's just, for a second, it had this gorgeous sheen. Like a carpet spread out underneath us. Everything slowed. Yeah, it slowed.
This park means a lot to me. My kids grew up here. We had picnics on the grass, played tennis, spent the whole days drifting. Just drifting around. Some parts are rough, it's true. There's the path I won't walk down anymore. At least not on my own. I know where I feel comfortable and where I don't. When he died, I would come here and walk. Didn't need to talk to anyone. I just kept moving. And then, after my relationship ended, same thing. Walking it out. For me, it's solace. And for a lot of people. On sunny days, the park fills up. People just enjoying themselves. Skating, chatting, listening to music. Yeah, I guess that's it. All sorts of memories, all in the same place.
When I go to the park with my kids, I'm always doing something. It's in how we move, like where we go, and also what I draw their attention to. I'm kind of making a little world for them as we walk. So, we come in through the Parkland Stalk. That's what I call it. There's no straight way through the park, by the way. The paths all twist, and so you're always adjusting to what's happening. I go by feel. As we're walking, I point things out. Look, can you see that? There's someone practicing on a tightrope, or a group jamming around a beat. It's like that show, Stranger Things, if you get what I mean. I don't want my kids seeing the upside down. I know it's always there, in the odd moments, you know, the things that feel off. But it's my job to keep that to the edges, like a force field. 'Cause this park's our happy place. My son's been coming here since he was a baby. He's 11 now. So even when I feel uncomfortable, I don't show it. I keep things moving.
I was walking along when I noticed this man coming towards me. It was a bright day. Lots of people around. Anyway, as he gets closer, his attention is locked on me. Long enough to sink in, you know. I just had this gut feeling. Change direction. So I'm cutting across the grass. Just kept moving. You know, how you just create a bit of space. And as I'm doing that, I'm looking around. I remember seeing a group of women nearby. Okay, I think. That's where I go if I need help. Sure, I felt nervous, but not panicked. you just keep moving. Yeah. That's how it is. It's like you're always planning. Who's around? Where would I go? I even hold on to things sometimes, like an umbrella. And I suppose I dress so I don't stand out. And even wear my hair a certain way, so it can't be grabbed. When I got home that day and told my parents about it, they said, "Why would you walk there? You should just stick to the main path." My sister gets it too. When she's out running, guys try to talk to her. You know, like being nice, but not taking the hint.
Well, yeah, it happens every year. You know it's coming. But last time, I remember being really taken aback. Music was blasting like doo, doo, doo. All heavy and constant, you know? The kind you feel like vibrating through your whole body. Yeah, say it brings in money for the council. And maybe it does. Certainly very busy. But it's not a community festival, like how Rock Against Racism used to be. For a while it just feels like you lose the park.
So all this open space was gone. They make the path all narrow with those high fences. It can feel really dark actually, even in daytime. Having grown up here, I kept thinking about the kids. This is where they play. We used to come here a lot. During wireless, it just isn't that kind of space anymore.
Waiting with kids, waiting with bags, waiting in places that don't really feel like places you're meant to stand. Yep, I rely on buses to get us through the day, whether that's school or shopping. It can be stressful, but there's a knack to it. When I'm coming from Tesco, there's a stop where the queue builds fast. At busy times, everyone spills into the walkway. You've got the buses looping around. I try to keep the kids close, so you're watching the road, watching the line, watching everything at once. It's the same when I take my son to school. We go to a stop where there isn't really a stop at all. No sign, no shelter, just a spot you're meant to know. I call it the insider bus. It doesn't come often, the insider bus. So if you miss it, there's another stretch of waiting, out in the open. I try to look intimidating or masculine in those moments. Or a lot of the time, I don't bother with waiting at all. I just keep moving.
It becomes part of how you move. Cross the road here, cross back again. You just want to avoid the groups down Blackstock Road. Some places feel off limits. I mean, places you just wouldn't go if you're like... Places you wouldn't go as a woman. There's this bakery. I passed it plenty of times. One day, my friend wanted to go in. So we did. As soon as we stepped inside, it felt wrong. It felt like a place of men and for men, if that makes sense. Nothing was said, like no one did anything. But it felt like the whole room was watching. I've been in male-dominated spaces before, where no one cared. But this time, everyone was staring. Maybe because my friend is white. Anyway, it was uncomfortable enough that we didn't stay.
I was sitting on a bench looking through the photos on my camera, deciding where to go next. A man sat down beside me and said hello. It all felt friendly enough at first. He noticed the camera and asked what I was doing. I told him I was taking part in a study about women's safety. He smiled and said, "Oh, it's very safe for women around here." I said, oh, that hadn't always been my experience. I mentioned being followed sometimes, how it feels different when I'm alone or on my own with my baby. When I'm with my partner, people don't usually talk to me at all. He paused, then said, "Are you sure it's not in your mind? In your imagination?" Okay, I remember thinking, I'm gonna move on now. He wasn't threatening, physically harmless probably, but I didn't want to keep explaining myself. I started walking away, but then, not far from the bench, I spied something. Turned out to be a pair of black knickers and leggings. Seeing that, just after the conversation, made me feel... You draw your own conclusions. I hadn't witnessed anything, just the signs of something.
After the pandemic, I started coming down this road again. That's when I really noticed it. When I was younger, it was quiet. Now there's posh cafes everywhere. On Saturday, it gets so busy now. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, part of me thinks it's safer. But also, I grew up around it. So I notice who isn't around anymore. With people getting pushed out, the place can feel split between what it was and what it's becoming. Here we are. Only a little building, so yeah, it's easy to miss. It used to be really run down. Ever since this organisation took over, it's just transformed. Inside, they've made a museum of homelessness. It's about documenting people's lives, so not just statistics. A lot of the people connected to it are young men, Afro-Caribbean and Somalian, people who've been pushed from place to place, really. They run these cooking sessions, yoga, community classes, and people without stable housing are all welcome. Once we started serving food, everyone showed up. Yeah, so I'm one of the volunteers, actually. Used to teach yoga here. Most of the lads would just sit around the edges to begin with, which was fine. At the front there's a little community garden and a greenhouse round the back. A lovely Irish lady looks after that. You'd probably walk straight past if you didn't know it was there. It's a hidden gem. We began asking each other questions. Simple ones, really.
What do you desire in your environment?
What are your basic rights here?
Mostly people talked about wanting to sit,
To pause in the sun, without feeling watched.
to just be in nature or in a cafe or on a bench and
And be welcome.
at ease.
Someone called them little warm zones.
Places where you could stop for a moment,
Sit in the light.
breathe,
It wasn't about owning space,
just being able to exist in it
without having to explain yourself.
without having to keep moving.
We didn't try to solve anything.
We just stayed with the question.